Hey boys and girls and Mom, Ken Smith Fishing. So I got another little, got out on the water today, and as I told you guys before I came down here this week, you can kind of catch them however you want to. You saw me catch them earlier in the week, 2 days ago, a lot of fish on an A-rig, some fish on a frog. This morning I went north looking for that frog bite. And a lot of little fish up there, which tells me it's coming. It's just not quite there yet. I was a little bit disappointed. I understand they bit really good yesterday before that rain came through. And of course, you know, this was just another little front that blew through. But I think, looking back through the footage, which I've already done, I caught about 25 fish today. I'm going to show you all about a dozen of them, and I am going to show you 5 little ones, but I caught them on back-to-back casts, which was kind of fun. So, before I get there, I want to share something with you guys, and I'm curious for your feedback. So some of you guys know about this. I got a hold of 2 of these. It's a crankbait. It's a 6-cent crankbait. And I got a hold of 2 of them last year before Grand. I have 1 left, and there's a reason you've not seen me throw this bait, because this is a tournament bait for me, and we're not tournament fishing right now. And what makes this bait really unique is it's called the Axis. And by the way, this is part of what I really like about 6 Cents, is they come up with some crazy cool stuff, outside the box stuff that runs different, hunts better. The Axis crankbait looks like any other crankbait until you see that the lip pivots. Now this is one of the prototypes, because it's got an old metal lip on it. I don't have any of the retail baits yet. I think I've got some coming to me right now, but I know they've been in an academy, so I'm real curious you guys' feedback on this thing. I had to keep it on the down low when we had it at Grand last year, and I lost 1 of them up there, so this is the only one I had left, and I'm not going to throw this bait until I have a bunch of them, other than in a tournament. Now, I think you can get them now, though, so hopefully I've got some coming. But this is wicked cool. Again, it's called the Axis, and because of that, it's got an action that nobody's ever seen, and better, no fish has ever seen in a crankbait. So if you've had one of these things, I'd be real curious to post your feedback below. If not, I think the only place you can get them right now, I'll post a link to 6 Cents website below for this bait. I think they're completely sold out, but if you go on there and order one, they'll let you know when it's back in stock. But I'm pretty sure you can get them at Academy right now. So if you can grab these somewhere, I'd grab a couple of them. It's different, and it's cool, and it's something that the fish haven't seen, which, you know, goes back to the day of the sluggo, right? When they had never seen a bait like that before, they ate it up. So let's go do a little bit of fishing right here, and I've got some sort of commentary mixed in throughout the day, kind of what I was thinking. I also talk about how I rig a Carolina rig, probably a lot like a lot of guys do, but I've got a little bit different in the hook I like to use and the weights I like to use. So let's do a little fishing, guys. He's a little guy, but he said, "Give me some 6 Cents frog." Look at that. Rawr. Punched it. That frog's supposed to be out in May, I hope. I know they're having trouble getting them here, but that's a solid, probably 3-pounder. So I just fished through an area that there's obviously some fish knocking bait around, and I caught a couple of fish, but I missed as many fish as I caught. So there's a lot of wind on it this morning. So I'm gonna go back through it with a buzz bait because they're not finding that frog. And see if maybe giving them something they can track, I can get a few more bites out of there, because I don't feel like I really caught near what's up there feeding right now. So we'll make another pass through it with a buzz bait, see what's going on.
Very nice, very nice.
Boop. Buzz bait. So I just fished around this point and I know there's fish there. I caught another one on a buzz bait. The wind's blowing in there pretty good and the water's off color. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap and I'm gonna throw, instead of throwing a regular Senko, 5-inch Senko, I'm gonna throw a 7-inch Senko. It's a lot more bait, but I mean, 2-pounders will eat it. And the plastic is so soft in them that you can still just use a 4/0 hook and you don't miss fish. You know, Yamamoto's plastic's got so much salt content in it. And let's fish back around through there and see if we can't catch one on that thing. Actually, looks like we need a new battery. So I went to that great big Senko to try to get a little better bite, and it didn't happen right there. But if you don't think a little one will eat that big giant Senko, you are wrong. They will munch on that thing. Next cast with that big Senko. Oh! Ooh, what just happened? You know, golly, I had bent that hook to pop it out of that fish. And that fish just took it smooth away from me. That might have been a dandy. Dad, burn it. There's a lot of them there. They're just little. Just 3 in a row. at the bottom of the grab. Gotta be fish. Yep. So the vast majority of time when I'm Carolina rig fishing, I use 20-pound main leader line, Seagar and VizX. Then I use 15-pound Seagar and VizX fluorocarbon leader. I am a big believer in big swivels because I think, number one, I think they're more durable. You see sometimes when you're fishing, your swivel gets dinged up and then it'll cut your line. I also think tying a knot to a slightly bigger diameter piece of wire makes for a stronger knot. And that may be just in my head, but that's something I firmly believe. I almost always, lost my beads. I was about to say I almost always put I always have beads on there. And I'm almost always throwing a 1-ounce sinker. You know, the old saying that the fish I'm trying to fish are on bottom, so anytime that bait's not on bottom is wasted time, and it also allows you to feel the bait better, feel the weight better. So pretty much always a 1-ounce sinker, egg sinker, unless I'm in the grass, and then of course I'll go to when I'm around the grass I'll go to a bullet sinker so it'll come through the grass better. Leader length will be anywhere from 2 to 5 feet. Probably my average is about 4. It's more manageable, it's easier to throw. But there are certainly times, especially around brush piles, where I want a lot shorter leader. And then the weak point for me in my Carolina rig fishing is I like as small a hook as I can get away with. And so I don't lose a lot of fish, but I bend a lot of hooks out. I'll back my drag off a little bit. And because I use, you know, I like to throw that baby brush hog, so I like throwing a 2-aught hook. That's the hook I like. It's that little 2-aught owner rigging hook. I'll put a link to it down below. That's the hook I really like. It's a surprisingly strong hook, but you cannot just pull and pull and pull on an 8-pounder with it. You gotta ride them a little bit. So that's the rig I use for Carolina. That is my Carolina rig setup, I guess is the way to say that. And by the way, so my bait of choice is one of 3 or 4 things. I really like, there's something that Yamamoto makes called a Cali roll, like a California roll. I really like that little bait. I like a zoom, both a finesse and a trick worm, both. So, you know, one's way bigger than the other one. And then a baby brush hog and a lizard. I'll throw a lizard still. I'm actually back throwing a lizard now more than I have in several years, but I'll throw a lizard some. So it's almost always one of those 4 baits when I'm dragging. I just think you get more bites with that little bitty hook. Pretty handsome little setup. You don't have to pull on them hard either, and they're stuck. Fish are just shallow, man. That fish is up there in 3 or 4 feet of water. Started out there deep and just keeping my eyes open. I saw something flash up here. I think it was just bait. I don't think anything was chasing it. I just pushed up shallower and ka-punk. There you go. Nice chunk. That's the second or third one I've had whack it since I've got up here. That's just the first one that actually ate it. I thought with the clearer water they'd be a little bit deeper, but apparently not.
we'll see. I'm gonna sit here for a few minutes. See if there's any more up there that'll bite. It's the next cast. A little wad of them right there. That is digging like he's a begging. Oop.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you've never seen one of my off topics, I've got another one I'll post up over this weekend where I kind of talk about some stuff besides and including, but besides fishing. I think you'll enjoy that. So if you've never seen one, check it out right there. That's my last off topic. And I'll have, that's telling me I got to go turn the food over. I'll have another one posted up here this weekend, and I think you might enjoy it. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you all again soon.
Rope.